In the world of combat sports, few names command respect like Cain Velasquez, a two-time UFC heavyweight champion, known for his relentless cardio, devastating ground and pound, and the iconic brown pride tattoo emblazoned across his chest. He was more than a fighter. He was a hero to many, a symbol of hard work and humility who reached the pinnacle of his sport. But on February 28, 2022, the story of Cain Velasquez took a dark and complicated turn, moving from the octagon to a California courtroom. This isn't just a story about a fallen star. It's a story about a father's love, a vigilante's rage, and a justice system grappling with a hero who took the law into his own hands. To understand the gravity of that day, we have to rewind. Cain Velasquez wasn't just any fighter. He was a dominant force, compiling a professional record of 14 wins and only 3 losses. He defeated legends, including Brock Lesnar and Junior Dos Santos, to claim the heavyweight throne. His fighting style was a whirlwind of pressure, a testament to his background as a decorated collegiate wrestler at Arizona State University. He was known as a family man, often pictured with his wife and 2 children. He represented the American dream for many in the Mexican-American community. After retiring from the UFC, he even ventured into the world of professional wrestling, performing for both WWE and Mexico's Lucha Libre. He was a beloved figure, seemingly transitioning gracefully into the next chapter of his life. But behind the scenes, a storm was gathering. The trouble began with a report filed at a daycare facility. Goulart was arrested but, to the shock and outrage of many, was later released on bail, albeit with certain restrictions, like GPS monitoring and staying away from minors. For Cain, and indeed for many following the case, this was an unbearable injustice. The man accused of harming his family was free. This is where the story shifts from a legal proceeding to a high-speed chase. On that fateful February afternoon, Cain Velasquez allegedly took matters into his own hands. Armed and driven by what prosecutors describe as a calculated plan for revenge, he pursued a pickup truck carrying Harry Goulart and his stepfather, Paul Bender. For 11 miles, Velasquez chased them through the streets of San Jose, ramming his truck into theirs. The chase culminated in gunfire. Velasquez allegedly fired his .40 caliber handgun into the truck, missing his intended target, Goulart, but striking Paul Bender in the arm and torso. The man who was once cheered for his controlled aggression in a sanctioned sport was now accused of attempted murder in a fit of street-level violence. The aftermath was swift. Cain Velasquez, the champion, was arrested and booked into the Santa Clara County Jail. The charges were severe: attempted murder, shooting at an occupied motor vehicle, assault with a deadly weapon, and several others. He was denied bail multiple times, with the judge deeming him a danger to the public. For 8 long months, the former champion sat in a jail cell, a world away from the roar of the crowd and the warmth of his family. The public was deeply divided. On one side, you had the law. The Santa Clara District Attorney, Jeff Rosen, made it clear: the sad tragedy is that Mr. Velasquez chose to take the law into his own hands, endangering the public and everyone in the truck. This act of violence also meant that we have 2 victims in this case now: the original victim and Mr. Bender. The legal system operates on a principle of due process, not vigilantism, allowing individuals to enact their own brand of justice, no matter how righteous their anger feels, erodes the very foundation of an ordered society. But on the other side, there was a powerful wave of public sympathy for Cain. The hashtag #FreeCain trended for weeks. Fellow fighters, celebrities, and thousands of fans rallied behind him. They saw not a criminal, but a father pushed to his absolute limit. They saw a man acting out of a primal instinct to protect his family when he felt the system had failed them. His coach, Javier Mendez, tearfully pleaded for his release, describing Cain as a man who lived by a code of honor. UFC President Dana White expressed his support, highlighting the deep emotional turmoil Cain must have been experiencing. This wasn't just a legal case. It became a public debate about justice, fatherhood, and the limits of revenge. What would you do if you were in his shoes? It's a question that resonated with millions. After 253 days in custody, in November 2022, Cain Velasquez was finally granted bail, set at $1 million. The conditions were strict: GPS monitoring, a restraining order, and mandatory outpatient treatment for traumatic brain injury and CTE, a condition many fighters face. His release was a moment of relief for his supporters, But it was just the beginning of the next phase of his legal battle. The attempted murder trial still looms, a cloud that will follow him for the foreseeable future. The potential consequences are life-altering. If convicted on all charges, he faces decades in prison. The case of Cain Velasquez is a modern-day tragedy that forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. We celebrate athletes for their aggression and violence within a controlled environment, paying to see them dominate opponents. But what happens when that same aggression spills out into the real world, fueled by genuine pain and a sense of profound injustice? Can we separate the hero in the cage from the man accused of a violent crime? Cain's actions were undeniably dangerous and illegal. He put innocent lives at risk, including that of Paul Bender, who was an uninvolved party caught in the crossfire. The law cannot make exceptions based on fame or emotional justification. Yet, it's impossible to ignore the systemic failure that set the stage for this tragedy. The initial decision to grant bail to Harry Goulart, the man accused of the heinous crime that started it all, is a point of contention that cannot be overlooked. It created a situation where a father felt he had no other recourse, that the system designed to protect his child had abandoned its duty. This story is a collision of fame, violence, justice, and consequence. It is a story about how a man who represented strength and honor to so many found himself on the wrong side of the law, driven by the most powerful and protective love there is, the love for a child. There are no easy answers here. There are victims on all sides, and the path forward is fraught with legal complexities and emotional wreckage. The final chapter in the story of Cain Velasquez has yet to be written, but it will undoubtedly serve as a somber cautionary tale about the devastating consequences when personal rage attempts to replace public justice. Whatever the court decides, the legacy of one of the greatest heavyweights in MMA history has been forever changed. Thanks for watching.